Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Bad North for the PS4. The game is also available for the Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. Bad North is a real-time strategy game developed by Plausible Concept. Your main goal in Bad North is to defend the kingdom from the Viking horde. So what is the game like to play? Well, firstly, this isn't like your standard real-time strategy game. It's a simplified and streamlined take on the genre with a minimal menu system and a unfussy style. In fact, I'd say it's got more in common with mobile games and touch games than usual RTS games. But the simplified system does the game a world of good. So you start out with a couple of units, but in time you can recruit many more, with certain units having special traits like being fleet of foot. You can freely switch between these units, move them to squares on the island, carry out a special move, regroup, or even retreat if all is lost. Levels require you to repel Viking attacks and protect the civilian buildings, enabling them to escape at the end of the level. With each building successfully saved, you receive coins, and these coins can be used to upgrade your combat units or acquire special combat moves to turn the tide in battle. So once the Vikings are on their way, it's up to you to place your ranks in the optimum locations depending on their specialty. For example, knights with heavy shields are good for the seafront to greet archers as they protect themselves. Spearmen lack the ability to fight on the move, but place them in a narrow space and they can repel all manner of soldiers, but are vulnerable to archers. Then you have your own archers who are best utilised at range, bringing death to the Vikings from above. There is no surefire way of winning a match. It's about dealing with the incoming troops as best as you can, but sometimes things will go south. This is where permadeath comes in. Each unit has a flag-bearing leader, and once the leader is dead, that unit is gone forever. If you want to progress through the main campaign, you'll need to invest your coin wisely, upgrade your troops in the right areas so that you've got a nice balanced mixture of units. The islands are randomly generated and sometimes they can prove quite difficult to defend. But the opposite is also applicable on occasion. In the beginning, you'll probably think this is pretty easy, and it is. It's not until halfway through that you start getting into the sort of spot of bother that I got into. Once you're dealing with enemies that have heavy armor, and once they increase in number, you're going to have your work cut out. But even in death and game over, I never really got annoyed or frustrated. Mainly because it's a pretty chilled experience, and you can play through the main campaign in 2 to 3 hours once you know what you're doing. So permadeath isn't such a big issue. It's a very satisfying game when you get your tactics right, luring the enemy in, picking them off from range, or using special moves to decimate their ranks. So in summary, it's a simple game to learn, a minimalistic control system with good menus, varied maps, and a decent challenge once you get into the latter stages. Basically, it's like real-time strategy for beginners without all the stuffy stuff. Graphically, the game has a simple and muted approach with pastel shades and cartoon-style characters. Everything is simple, streamlined and clear, and I really enjoyed the visual presentation. Sound-wise, the game does a pretty good job as well, with good sound effects and a little bit of music thrown in here and there. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? The controls, menus and general feel of the game are excellent. It avoids the stuffy approach of most real-time strategy games. Random islands keep things fresh. The troop variety on both sides keeps you on your toes, and it's a very pleasant and satisfying experience when you get your tactics correct. What's bad? The early levels are very easy. Permadeath can be a little bit annoying at first, but once you realise it's not the longest campaign, the annoyance is alleviated. So what's the verdict? Bad North may look like a bit of a simplistic mobile game, and in some ways it is. But it's also a very playable, approachable and accessible game when compared to other similar games. The simplicity of the game in terms of its premise, menus and commands makes each confrontation a pleasure rather than a chore. It's incredibly playable, very addictive and quite chilled even when you end up dying, and you will. But it's always worth another go to see if you can find the perfect combo of units, special moves or position on the battlefield. Yes, it isn't the longest game in the world, but it's very enjoyable and a lot of other games could learn a lesson from its presentation and simplified approach. You still have to be strategic, but you're not bogged down by all that menu rubbish. Menu. Instead, it's just seamless, streamlined, really fun. Overall, very good game, one I really enjoyed and I would definitely recommend it. So my score for Bad North is 8 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.